Hey everybody, Stone Rain Productions here, and I had a thought. What would decks look like after rotation? It's more of a thought exercise, but something that I wanted to try. So basically, what I'm doing here is I took some screenshots of the leaders for sets 4 and 5 for now. I also took a screenshot of some of the bases, and we're just going to go over them and just get some ideas as far as what could potentially be playable. I also want to include some other content creators in this. I'm going to link Star Wars Dad's channel. I absolutely love Star Wars Dad's content. Star Wars Dad, if you're watching this, you're awesome. You make some terrific stuff, and you definitely inspire me. You put out some really thought-provoking things, so I'd love to see you participate in this as well too. Woo, Ophir, you're the man. I was rooting so hard for you, and I couldn't be happier that you made it to the top four for the worlds, man. You're going to be a terrific world champion someday. You're a terrific ambassador for this game, and I certainly look forward to the near future when you win it all. Star Wars Dad, I think if you go to Worlds, you got a good shot at it too, because I mean, you play a lot of games. Thork, I'm going to link all these content creators in my bio or in the comments down below. Thork, obviously, you're one of the best minds in the game. Team Enigma, what is there to say? I mean, you guys have some of the absolute best players in Europe, and I would say in the world. Fantastic content. Um, love your insights. I love your first takes on cards for the new sets. So I just want to say thanks to all you guys first before I jump in. And I'd like to do collabs with anybody just in the meantime, just to discuss things potentially or go from there. So what am I proposing? Post rotation decks. We've got limited card pools, so there's not a lot to choose from. Uh, the leaders that we're looking at here are going to be just from set 4 and 5. I didn't include Secrets of Power just yet, so I wanted to wait till more of that came out. But obviously, we've got some of these here. Kylo Ren was one of the first ones I thought of, but it lost quite a. It's going to lose quite a bit, I should say. Talzin, there is a deck for Talzin. There's a bunch of these that I think are potentially good. I really would like to look at a third sister deck. I was playing against somebody at one of my locals at my local game shop. Shout out to Pack Rat Games in East Windsor, Connecticut. You're the best. And I forget your name. I'm going to remedy that next time I see you. But he had a terrific third sister aggro deck. Double red, double aggression. It was pretty great. But anyway, these are the leaders we have to look at. I want to make something with Anakin later. That might be, depending on what we see from other creators, that might be something that I go into next. I think it's intriguing. Our next page, um, again, more of the leaders that we've got. Darth Vader was a little bit trickier than I thought because the rotation is very difficult for that deck. It loses quite a bit. There is still enough to make a deck, but it's a little bit trickier. Piet I didn't get a chance to get into. Boba I didn't get a chance to get into. Um, so there's a lot of room here. As far as bases, this is what we've got at the moment. Force obviously is going to be a big standout. And considering the amount of Force units tripled from the first 4 sets into Legends of the Force, that's going to be a big part of rotation moving forward. And I really think that Fantasy Flight definitely made a big jump with this set 5 that is, Legends of the Force, with Worlds in mind. I think because it was a big shakeup. We saw a lot of powerful things being released early on. We see some powerful units. So this is going to be a big part of it. So the first deck, Kazuda Blue. I was chatting with some of my friends at the LGS, and I brought this idea up. And one of my friends in particular, Jesse, first deck he thought of was Kazuda Blue. And while I was kind of on the same lines, I was thinking Kazuda Red. And that's primarily because of the events. After rotation, there are not a lot of effects like Surprise Strike. We lose the Hotshot DL44. It's a lot more challenging to use events as surprise win conditions. So trying to do the best with what I have here. So with Kazuda, again, we're sticking with a 30-point base just because I don't want to try Colossus. I don't think it's a good fit. And this is not a force-based deck. Corporate Defense Shuttle, Ogdo Bogdo, very solid options. This is more of a balanced deck where it can do things on the ground. But I wanted to go over all these options. Fireball, obviously it's huge turn one. It can take out anything in space on turn one. And you can keep it around with Kaz. So it's really good. It's very resilient. The N1 Starfighter, it's a 2-cost 3/2 limited card pool. I figured that this would shine. It would be pretty good. So I wanted to try it. As far as events, I don't want to try anything that are too crazy in cost. So I wanted to try to stay 2-3 cost or less. Covering the wing makes us another unit in space and gives us a shield. A lot of the Kaz Blue decks were running the security complex primarily just to get a shield on a unit anyway. So I figured it would be a good thing to try, at least with 2. You're all clear, kid. Good early removal to get rid of something that's in your way in space. Ground is more of an afterthought, I suppose, but we still have a little bit of game with ground here. Contracted Hunter, 3 cost for a 4/4 ambush is pretty solid, and it's most likely going to stick around. So I treat this mostly as a removal event. I guess it's kind of weird to say unit is an event, but it's going to hopefully clear out 2 units. One attack for 4 and then another attack for 4. The Death Space Skirmisher, we're going to have another space unit, so we'll be able to exhaust something. Grogu may look a little weird in here, but the primary function of it is to keep the Sabine's Masterpiece and the Stolen AT Hauler healthy, so we don't have to worry about losing it. It's also good with picking other units off that have 2 hit points or less left. That's a little tricky to say. The J-type Nubian, another good cast card as we can draw the card and then turn off the downside. L3 is something that I want to try because it's pretty much the opposite of Luke if we think about it. It starts in the ground. We can start with piloting if we need to, but I figured this might be a good way to put something else on the ground as well, and if it dies, we can move it to a ship. Falcon is good because of multiple pilots. We don't have a lot of pilots in here, but we do have the Han and we've got the L3. Something like R2 might sneak in here as well too. Ogdo Bogdo, obviously powerful with Kaz. Sabine's Masterpiece is, I think everybody knows that how powerful that card is, but the modes on this are just fantastic. Shuttle Tidarian to put extra experience on things. Covered the Stolen AT Hauler. It's just way overstated for its cost. It's fantastic. Han, that's going to be treated as an event to get the 2 extra damage. So it's still good. Legacy Run I'm trying in here as a 2 of. I haven't tried any of these decks out yet. These are post-rotation decks, and it would feel a little weird playing them against non-rotation decks, essentially, because we're losing out on a lot of tools, obviously. So whether you play it online via webcam or some of the digital clients, if somebody like Karabast or Petronaki wanted to introduce a way to do post-rotation, I think that would be fantastic. So if you happen to be watching, food for thought there. I think it might be fun and encourage different types of gameplay. Commandeer, Another great card. It just hasn't seen a lot of play with a diminished card pool. I think it could really shine. And then the Radiant 7. The Sedan Athano is a maybe card. Sideboard I haven't really put a lot of thought into. But I think it's something that could be good against opposing space decks just to get rid of something that might be in your way. Just food for thought anyway. This whole thing is just a giant thought experiment with only 2 sets to really consider at the moment. Okay, the next deck that we've got is Luke, and I decided to go with Data Vault, which is a little bit of a challenge, again, because of the limited pool, but there was enough to build something here. I'm going to try to skim these a little bit faster because it's a bigger deck, and I think most of you know what it is, or most of you know the cards at this point, but we don't have a ton of 1-drops, but we do have some decent ones with the R2, the Neon Nub, uh, the Y-Wing is, or Crackshot V-Wing or Y-Wing, I can't read it. My eyes are pretty terrible. Good early games, early game options. The attack run I figured is good in pretty much any space deck. Again, there's not a lot of surprise strike effects, especially with the Hotshot DL44 rotating out. We're not seeing a lot of damage increasers for events. Trench run, something that has more hit points, something with a leader on it perhaps, more suited for that. And hopefully we get, I think people in general try to stay closer to the ground, especially in newer formats. So I'm hoping that the difference in card cost won't affect too much as far as the trench run effect goes, as far as shooting your own unit down. Black one, great with a pilot on it. Luke, obviously fantastic. If it dies off a ship, it goes to the ground. Was toying with putting something like Constructed Lightsaber in the side, potentially, just as a way to hedge ground attack with a Jedi. Phoenix Squadron is really good. Red Squadron is all right, but again, card pool limited. The X-Wing is not terrible. Air superiority, again, this is to clear up any ground units that might be troublesome. The twin laser turret looks kind of interesting. Again, since we're running a limited card pool with only 2 sets, 2 for +2/+2 on a unit, plus it's dealing extra ping damage when it attacks, is pretty decent. And I think it could actually work. Blue leader is space or ground, and one of the neat things about this is that you can put a pilot on this even if it's in the ground, as long as it's a vehicle. The escort fighter, great removal, potentially 401 for 3. It's a little bit higher costed than I'd like, but for what it is, it's pretty great. Next card was consideration basically just for diminished options. Falcon, I think, really shines a lot in a deck like this where we've got multiple pilots. We can put more than one on here and it stands out. Red 5 and Luke, it's like peanut butter and jelly. They absolutely go together. Poe either lets you get 2 units or you get a beefy X-Wing, or for that matter, you get an X-Wing and put Poe on something else. Red Leader, not completely sold on it, but I think that it would be good. Chewie, obviously a great card. Kit Fisto's Ether Sprite, I think it's great against anything with upgrades on it. I think it's something that people should even consider now running against Kylo. A great parliamentarian is awesome, but I think that maybe running one of these and the main might be a good call as well too, depending on your deck, of course. I'm also trying 1 Radis and 1 Profundity. It's really weird not having a home 1 to be able to put in here, but we want to have something. So it's just a consideration. And I figured Profundity and Radis are probably good big options. Of course, we're going to get other cards as we go. Next up, Talzin Red. there's actually quite a bit of stuff that rotates out of here, like the Force Throw, Force Lightning. There's a bunch of stuff. Fallen Lightsaber, it's all gone. So I decided to go with 2-0 and Lars. I'm going to shout out Bobby Sapphire from the KTOD team because he's the first person that I saw use this. He may not be the innovator, but he's the first person that I saw. And I think it's great. Restore 2, and it lets you get another Force unit. This deck is a very aggressive deck, so I wanted to try to stay as true to that as possible. Sorcerer's Blast, nowhere near as good as Force Throw, but it's going to clear the way for some of our units to get in. We do have a lot of reduced cost things, especially if we've got the Krennic in play, where we can really get to the board pretty quickly. Accolade of the Beyond, just another way to get the Force. The Karis and the Night Sister Warrior, just value engines. Secret of Siege, I think everybody at this point knows how powerful that card is. 2 cost, 2/2 shielded with a Force tag. It's just bonkers. One thing of note with this deck is, as I said before, the number of Force units tripled. So Force is definitely going to be a big part of Star Wars Unlimited even after rotation. I have 5 lightsabers in here, so I figured I'd try lightsaber throw, see how it works. Grand Inquisitor is just a great unit, especially for the cost. The hidden is fantastic. I'm only using 2 Jedi in hiding at the moment. Could very easily be 3. I haven't played any of these yet. This is clearly, this is just a thought experiment right now. So just wanted to put something together. Purge Trooper, for the same reasons as I said before, there's a lot of Force units. I think it's going to shine. The lightsabers, again, this is because we've got so many Force units. Plus, I think the 4 damage from lightsaber throw is pretty great. Chariot kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. There weren't a lot of other great options, and Chariot's pretty awesome. Very easy to get the Force back with this base. Attacking with a Force unit is almost the entirety of this deck, with the exception of Lars, Accolade Beyond, and Devastator, I believe. Everything else is, the Purge Trooper as well. Everything else is Force. So it's a high likelihood we're going to be able to keep Chariot healthy and using the Force on him to reduce attacks. Tyrannus, slam dunk. The card is just powerful. Being able to ambush something, kill something that has can deal 2 damage back to him and then put a shield on it. It's just really solid. Talzin's Assassin is a great removal option, as is Anakin. The Sun, I think this was phenomenal tech by the people that built this for the Galactic Championship. I love it. I think it's fantastic. Just have the Force and it's enabled. And lastly, Devastator. Again, this is mostly because of limited card pool, but it's a solid option. It can be removal, and it's a quick way to end the game in space if we need to. And lastly, the Vader 4. As I said at the start, it was a little bit of a chore making this because a lot of the key pieces rotate 1, 2, and 3. We don't have the overwhelming barrage, so we've got to go with Craving Power. It's really the only option here. So the deck does change quite a bit. We still have 9 1-drops. It's not quite as good, but I still think it's possible to do the double 1-drop turn. This deck has Punch It, where we can get the +2/+0 for a vehicle, and that's going to be 90% of our deck, if not more. The attack run, I've got it in other decks. I think it's just a solid option considering the smaller card pool. The Exegol Patroller stays aggressive, 3/1 for 2. Kajimi Patroller does what we want, creates another tie. A Pantoran Starship Thief, a little bit hard to say. I think it's a good card, and I wanted to try it just to see how it would work. Again, if any other content creators want to get together and play some of these decks, I would love to do that. So feel free to just message me in the comments. Let me know. And I'd love to see any other content creators decks that you come up with too for post rotation, just to see how it looks. Wingman Victor 2, again, that's standard. Air superiority is going to be good removal for ground. Prepare for takeoff is a good 2 for 1. We're more than likely going to hit 2 vehicle units with this. Houndstooth I thought was a solid option, and I decided to go with 2, not quite ready to go for 3. As you can tell, the curve is starting to creep up, so I didn't want to go super high. Stolen AT hauler, obviously that's going to be great, as is the Victor leader. Wingman Victor 3 is a good way to hedge an extra experience on something. The Clone Command Squadron, obviously that's a primary beater. The Ambush Patroller Ambush Squadron, it's getting a little bit high cost, but again, the options were a little bit low, so I wanted to do something to stay on theme. And a 2-cost ambush isn't super bad. The when played, when defeated also creates some ties, so it does fit into the theme a little bit. And those are the 4 decks that I've come up with for post rotation for Star Wars Unlimited. So I'm going to link everybody's pages for YouTube. Star Wars Dad, Thork, Woo, most likely KTOD is going to be in there. And yeah, if you guys come up with post rotation decks, I'd love to see them. And if you'd like to play, ping me. Maybe we can find a way to play. I would absolutely love to. And I just want to say thanks so much for stopping by. I know I've just started off here, but really appreciate your support so far. It means a lot. And please feel free to subscribe and like the video if you liked it, of course. If there's anything else that you'd like to see, or maybe you haven't seen from another content creator yet, feel free to leave something in the comments as well. Again, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day.